The movie begins with a man named Michael Morbius standing outside a cave surrounded by bats. Sometime later, we see Michael experimenting on a bat as he hopes to find a cure for his rare blood disease from their DNA. He informs Milo, his best friend, who also suffers from the same blood disease, about the experiments and asks for funding to carry out more experiments on international waters. After receiving funding from Milo, Morbius hires a private mercenary ship with his assistant Martine. After a series of experiments, Michael finally finds a cure for his disease and injects it into himself. The cure works, but it transforms Morbius into a vampire. He kills and drains the crew members on the ship of their blood after they attack him out of fear. Once his bloodlust subsides and he regains his senses, a terrified Morbius erases all CCTV footage of his attacks, checks on a passed-out Martine, contacts the authorities, and jumps off the ship. Morbius returns to New York and discovers he now has superhuman abilities. To control his bloodlust, he resorts to drinking artificial blood until it gradually ceases to satisfy his needs. FBI agents Simon Stroud and Al Rodriguez investigate Morbius' victims and discover his involvement in their deaths. Milo learns Morbius is cured but becomes furious when Morbius refuses to give him the cure. While checking on a hospitalized Martine, Morbius finds a dead nurse drained of her blood. Believing he was responsible, he attempts to escape but is cornered and arrested. In prison, Milo visits him and promises to get him out of prison. Before leaving, he drops a pack of blood for Michael. Upon realizing Milo took the cure, Morbius drinks the blood to regain his strength and escapes from prison to confront him. An unrepentant Milo confesses to killing the nurse and urges Morbius to embrace his powers as he has. Unwilling to hurt his best friend, Morbius flees. Morbius acquires a new lab and begins developing a cure against vampirism to stop Milo. He also plans to use it on himself since he will become unable to resist his bloodlust. Stroud and Rodriguez find CCTV footage of one of Milo's attacks and, believing Morbius vampirism to be spreading, release it to the media. Nicholas, a father figure and doctor to both Milo and Michael, recognizes Milo in the video. He visits him and pleads with him to stop, telling him to be more like Michael. Angered by Nicholas's perceived preference for Morbius, Milo injures and forces him to call Michael for help. Michael arrives and watches helplessly as Nicholas dies. Milo also attacks Martine. When Morbius finds out, he is too late as she is already dying. He kisses her, and she bites his lips, allowing droplets of his blood to fall into her mouth. Eventually, she dies in his arms, and he drinks her blood. Angered by the sudden death of two loved ones, Morbius confronts Milo in a fierce battle and summons an army of bats to restrain him as he injects him with the cure. Milo dies, and Morbius flies off with the bats, mourning his loved ones and embracing his identity as a vampire. Unbeknownst to him, Martine is revived as a vampire herself.